Welcome everybody back to Boost Motion, guys, and today we're going to talk about it. What are the top sedans of 2023? Now, this article is actually a UK article, but these vehicles are over here. And I thought it would be actually kind of cool to talk about it because I'm a four-door lover. I like four-door vehicles with power. And they pretty much talk about some of the top ones. So let's jump into it. First thing, shout out to my Boost Motion family. I know you guys have already hit the like button. Thank you guys for your support. And if you're new to the Boost Motion channel, I am Boost Motion. I'm a Nissan fitting enthusiast, car enthusiast, sedan lover, and I report the news. So guys, don't shoot the messenger. So let's jump into it. So this says the best saloons of 2023. This is from an article coming from Evo. Now let's just move forward and quickly and run through this list. So what I can see here is this is pretty much the bullet points. Alfa Romeo, M3, AMG E63, Panamera, Jaguar XE, M5 Competition, Taycan GTS, RS3, M340, and AMG CLA 45. Now it's crazy that they also included two BMWs technically, the G series, the M340 and the M3. Isn't that surprising? Everything else on this list, other than maybe the Jaguar XE, are like more the high performance cars. Isn't that crazy? So they put the Alfa Romeo Giulia. Now, I have not fallen in love with this car. And even people in the car community, I still don't think have fallen in love with this car. This car had so much press behind it, so much what we thought was going to be this amazing car. Like, I thought I was going to see a bunch of Alfa Romeo Giulias running the streets rampant. But actually, no, they're not. Not a lot of people get this car. I see the TIs more, little cheap ones versions, way more than I even see. Like, I barely saw one of these. Unless I go to like a car meet, and even then I may see it there. I wonder why. I really wonder why this car doesn't get the love that I thought it was going to get. Cool. M3 Competition X Drive. We already know the deal is, guys. If you're in the car community, this car is the cheetah car of 2023. Well, I said it was going to be the cheetah car of 2022, but they didn't unlock the DME yet, the full tuning program for it yet. So it's once they unlock it, this car is going to be the cheetah car of whatever year it gets fully unlocked. This car is already in mid-nines on stock turbo and E85 and port injection and trans tune. You don't even have to get port injection, right? And that's small amount of power adders just to be a 9-second car that you could get for under $100,000 and technically drive to work and has 4 doors or 2 doors in the case of the G82s and have a trunk space and X-Drive and rear wheel. It's insane. Now, next car, AMG E63S. Now, I am a Mercedes E63 owner. Also, I was a former owner of a Mercedes C63. And honestly, I really love my Mercedes gang. I really love these cars. I know BMW does BMW things. I know they say BMWs are better and faster, but there's something about the Mercedes that mixes is mainly luxury, but then they give you the performance and aggressiveness. They give you that. And I think that BMW gives you the performance but tries to give you luxury and fails at it. But Mercedes does a great job at it, right? Next, they say the Porsche Panamera GTS. Now, what I got to say about these Porsches Panamera, I want to say, I'll be honest with y'all. I don't really see the freaking difference in them. I want to put it on video. I don't really see the difference in them. Now, I know that they have the different trim levels over the last, 10 to 15 years. But essentially, you can get an older Panamera GTS. And, of course, it won't look as new. But it's nothing that I look at and I go, wow, for. And even when I go to car meets, no one really looks at Panameras. It's like, even though they're dope cars and they do sound good, and technically they're in the realm of the E63, the M5, the Audis, no one be like, you know what, let me get a Panamera. Because Porsche people really get Porsches, the GT cars, and the Turbo S cars. They don't get Panameras. It's like they wanted to make the Panamera for people who want to still get Porsche. They love Porsche so much. So let's give you a 4-door car that you like to take your kids in. But Honestly, they'd rather just get a Mercedes or a BMW truck or car. You see what I'm saying? I think when they first came out, they got that attention, but then now it just doesn't fulfill it. All right, next M5 competition. You guys already know M5 competition has been doing a thing for a minute. Seeing where M5 came from of being a rear-wheel drive V10 screaming, sounding amazing, from the 4.4 liter V8 of the older M5 with the 6-speed manual. Yo, I used to love the 4.4 6-speed manual. I don't know what E version it is of the BMW, but I used to love that. And if you didn't want an M5, you get the cheaper 540i, and those cars sounded amazing. So now knowing where the M5 is now from where it used to be, it's a shocking thing. Like they really gave you such a vicious car. So I think this is one of the top saloons out there or sedans out there. If you could get your hands on one, and you could get a 2018 M5, this one for like in the 60s now. Now I know everyone can't afford $70,000, but from what the price of where it used to start at and all the performance you get in it, I think it's actually a great bang for its buck. Maybe I'll talk about a video of different bang for its bucks for different classes of vehicle. Maybe I'll do it one day, but in this video, we're just mainly talking about sedans. Now, the Jaguar XEP 300. I don't really know much about this car, so I'm gonna quickly read it. As of 2023, the most potent powertrain available is the 300 Sport 296 brake horsepower, 2-liter 4 unit that, although effective reaching 0 to 62 in 5.9 seconds, isn't particularly sparkling in the performance or responsiveness. Gladly, the same can't be said for the chassis, which is a balanced and compatible as ever, with a pin-sharp steering and rock-solid body control. So we're pretty much saying that this car handles quite well for what it is. But I would I would contest them and say this though. Maybe it handles it well for the chassis because of the underpowered motor. There are chassis that are super okay. Let's say it's like a Honda S2000. Let's use like the Scion, the BRZs. Those chassis where people say this is a great chassis, right? But it's a great chassis because the powertrain isn't overdriving the car itself. If this car had, let's say, 600 horsepower, it may be too much for the chassis. Same thing if a BRZ came with 500 horsepower, it might have been too much for the chassis. You see what I'm saying? So I think they're only saying this because of how the car came, particularly. Porsche Taycan GTS. Now I would say this car is a little different. When I do see Porsche Taycans, I don't confuse them with I don't confuse them with Panameras because of this. The sole EV on this list is a brilliant Taycan GTS. It's quiet. You don't hear it coming. But when you do see it at night or when the sun is down, this car looks quite amazing. And even when it kind of drives by, it's kind of alien-like when it drives by. Like when a Tesla drives by, it's not really that much alien-like particularly. But this definitely always stands out when I do come across one, and I do give this one the all is kudos for that. RS3, guys, you already know RS3 is a freaking killer. It's just like Audi TTRSs, man. There's nothing to be said. That 5-cylinder motor, that 2.5, that car is a killer, man. Like they've made something quite amazing, and I'm gonna shut up and mind my business because this car is dope. I've been told by so many people, Boost, get an RS3, get an RS3, get the older one, get the new one, get one. And I'm like, I like my bigger cars. I'm 6'1", I can still fit in it, but the back seat, the design, the car is a small car. So for me, even though the car may give miles per gallon for me, I do want a bigger saloon or sedan, and that's why I'm in an E63S right now. All right. And lastly, I think we're coming up to one of the last two cars, M340. Now, I do want to read this article because I want to see why they put this here. Just like the Jag is here, I want to see why they put this here because this car mainly had like high performing vehicles, and the fact that The Jaguar in this car made the list. Let's see why. Perhaps the biggest trump of the BMW's M performance range is the M340 and the M340D. That's a diesel, I believe. Two sports saloons that are truly brilliant, finding a superb balance between outright performance, efficiency, and handling, composure, and comfort like few others. While discount the diesel in the list as well as it's an impressive, torquey, and efficient car. The M340 itself is a very good on fuel and considerably sharper to drive. It is definitely a pretty easy car to drive, guys. I want to put that out there. Regardless of the pump you need to park next to, the M340 still draws on the fine balance of M3 series BMW 3 Series that exploited over many of the formative years. The newest version pairs the 6-cylinder B58 with an all-wheel drive, and to make the best use of this impressive drivetrain, the M340 chassis has to match at once involving and precise, but still brilliant, compatible, and comfortable over any stretch of road. Yes, guys. That's what they say about it. And they don't really. There's nothing else I really need to sit there and speak about. So, lastly, guys, we're here. Mercedes AMG CLA 45. Now, I don't know too much about this car. I know the motor's dope. I know that the A45S didn't come to the U.S. That car is dope. That car is fire, but it's a hatchback. So this is a saloon video. So yeah, I get it. So the A45S is actually over here. Or the CLA 45S is over here. So if you guys don't already know, this is like the most powerful 4-cylinder ever made in a car. It's almost 500 horsepower, and they put it in a CLA. So you can see that it's probably a very fun car to drive. Well, almost close to 500 horsepower. So the all-wheel drive saloon with dual clutch transmission, torque vectoring, rear differential was cut to mustard, and yet has one of the most. I don't know, I'm not gonna go through that part. I already told you guys it does 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, or some days less than that. So the car comes pretty fast stock. I must say it comes pretty fast stock, and this is mostly a European article, so at the end of the day, they're not going to really branch much more into it. But I really just want to say this kind of off topic. I'm not a fan of the CLA 45S. I'm not. I'm just saying on video. I'm not. To me, it just looks like a smaller version of like a CLS, smaller version. And I never like the sloping lines of the rear. It goes to the back and it's not wide enough in the rear. I don't like that part at all. I'm more of a fan of the A45S. I guess the hatchback just looks wider in the rear. Or even in the CLS itself, it's still a good-looking car in the front, but when it comes to the side and the rear portions, it's just not my thing. But as they would sit there and saying this, they like how these cars balance from the power delivery to the chassis to the overall look and feel of the cars, and I get it. But if I had to pick a car in this whole list, hey, yo, I'm gonna tell you honest. I got an E63S. That's it. E63S. But I'm not gonna lie. The second car I would probably pick on this list would probably be the M3 X Drive. That car is a freaking killer. That would be right behind it. The third car right behind it would be the Porsche Taycan. Yeah, the electric one. That car is dope. I think I like the look. The front of the end is still growing on me more and more. But nonetheless, I think that car is dope for another third car. And everything else, they're nice cars. But nonetheless, those are my top 3 cars that I would pick out of this list. So, guys, tell me tell your boy Boost in the comments below, or what you guys would actually pick. Put in what would be your top 3 out of this list of cars you would actually like to own from 1, 2, and 3. So outside that, guys, you can add me at boostinmotion.g Facebook. Also, you can send me email at boostinmotion@gmail.com. Otherwise than that, guys, I appreciate it. You guys have a good day. Thank you.